Are live now, so I think we are starting. So welcome to whatever the hell this is. This is a debate, I suppose, that I've been conscripted into chairing. We only have 3 of the 5 possible representatives here, and of those 3, only one of them is an actual party
6.
leader. 6. Fuck. So yeah, we've got some British D26 from the Welsh Democrats, I believe you're called.
Yes.
We've got Merrily Putrid from the Cardigan Community Healthcare Advocates Party. And we've got...
My Twitter account is @OnikaRapQueen and I follow back, so please do take a look at that if you have the chance.
Okay, thank you. And we've got Ewan from... I think that's how I pronounce your username. I apologise if...
It's like Win. It's like Penguin, but with
Win. Okay. Win from Plaid Cymru.
Cheers.
Yeah. We tried to get Chi. He went offline, so he's not here.
Well, he's I think he might be here, because he's just flicked on.
Oh, he's back online now, is he? Okay.
No, wait. In anticipation.
In anticipation. So I'm just going to fill this time because we are live at the moment. If he can join. If not, then we'll just fucking go for it, I suppose. There's 3 people watching. Thank you for coming to whatever the fuck this is.
This is
Cheers.
I apologise. That's all I can say right now. Okay, so if he's not going to come, then that's fine. My first question then. So I suppose in that case we're just going to have to represent the Conservative and Lib Dem leaders with empty chairs. Okay.
Yeah.
My first. Yeah, and Labour. Fuck, I forgot about Labour. Store of the election, isn't it? Really, isn't it? Just forget about Labour.
Even Labour have forgotten about Labour at this point.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's face it, we're the real stars of this election.
Yeah, you are. You've had. Okay, so my first question is then, in that case, to Win, leader of Plaid Cymru, if you are in a position to form a government with yourself, well, with a member of Plaid Cymru as First Minister, do you think that your party is ready for government?
Oh, certainly. We have. I personally have been waiting for far too long to take on the role of, well, some role in government. I personally would like the role of Minister of Culture if I can't take the role of First Minister myself. But yes, I think Plaid is ready for government. We are the only explicitly nationalist party in the entire Senedd. I mean, apart from the Welsh Democrats who have an ambiguous stance on it, we're the only ones who go, yes, we want an independent Wales, and we think we're ready to represent Welsh interests on the Senedd stage.
Okay. But some people view you as someone who's not really been in Welsh politics for that long, as a bit inexperienced. What do you say to those claims?
From what I lack in political experience in the world of Senedd politics as of late, I make up for in the fact that I have a great deal of experience living Welsh life. I know what issues matter to Welsh people the most, as someone who's lived in Wales, grown up in Wales, just breathed everything to do with Wales for my entire life.
I can't imagine that smells very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, some British dude. Wyn has described your party's position on Welsh nationalism as ambiguous. Do you have a response to that?
Well, obviously we are definitely a firmly unionist party. We believe that Wales, and in all parts of the UK, we're better in the UK. Unity is better than division. That is probably our core philosophy as a party, not just in Wales, but indeed across the entire country. But at the same time, we do respect the devolved governments, and we did agree. We have pledged that should there be a nationalist majority in the Senedd after this election, we will respect the people of Wales's decision.
Your party has served in 2 governments this last term. First, you supported a right-wing First Minister in the form of HJT, and then you supported
Yes.
a left-wing First Minister in the form of I Made a Reddit account 5. So, your position, I think it's fair to say, over the last 6 months has been a bit sporadic, shall we say. Given that, how can the Welsh people trust you to provide a stable government if your government is re-elected?
Well, I think what we provide is experience in government. Of course, like I said, we've been in the last 2 governments. I think, and we have and we are promising a lot for the people of Wales. If they can't put their trust in us, who can they put their trust into? Especially the.
I mean, there are 5 other parties contesting this election.
Those in Wales who do indeed want to remain, want to remain in the United Kingdom.
Well, I mean, they've got the Conservatives for that, or even Labour for that matter. But moving on, Merrily, this question is just for you, and it comes from the audience. Who is the Queen of Rap?
The Queen of Rap is without a doubt Nicki Minaj. I'm disgusted that even has to be asked, and shame on you, and may I say shame on the entire Model News Network for even having the audacity to even question it. Nicki Minaj is the Queen of Rap. Cardi flopped. Invasion of Privacy flopped. Stream Seeing Green. Buy Beam Me Up Scotty right now.
Nicki Minaj is the Queen of Rap. Does anyone have a comeback on that? Win. Who is, in your view, the Queen of Rap? Is Merrily right to say that Nicki Minaj is the Queen of Rap?
Well, if Clyde won government, it is part of our belief that everyone should be queens of rap. We believe that there are multiple queens of rap. However, we do
There is
concede
a
that
singular Queen of Rap.
we do concede that Nicki would be the queen amongst queens of rap, as she has been on the scene longer and has simply produced more hits.
And
I respect that opinion.
some British do you have a view on the identity of the Queen of Rap? Is it Nicki Minaj, is it Cardi B, or is it someone else entirely? What is your view on this? Merrily, please, you've had your chance.
I will attempt to restrain myself.
Okay, some
I
British
do
do.
not care about rap music, so I have no opinion on that.
Just
Well, that was a second.
I should kick you out of this call. Moving on. Does the facts that 3 of the 6 party leaders haven't turned up to this debate show that the Conservatives, the Labour and the Liberal Democrats do not care about the people of Wales?
I think it shows that they do not care about the Queen of Rap, Nicki Minaj. They were just too afraid to stand up they were so afraid to present any possible counter. I think it shows that all major parties in Wales recognise Nicki Minaj as the Queen of Rap.
I concur in a roundabout way to this. While the leader of the Welsh Conservatives not turning up was admittedly due to personal reasons, and we have to respect this, I'd say the other party leaders have less of an excuse, in my eyes, for not turning up. Because, well, the people of Wales deserve to hear what we have to say. They should know what sort of deal they're getting if we get into government. And therefore, I believe that Plaid Cymru, with being the only party who's actually fully submitted their leader, although I will concede that the Welsh Conservatives have personal circumstances and the Welsh Democrats have technical difficulties, the other parties haven't submitted their leaders at all. So I'd say Plaid Cymru is the best prepared party and the most open to government and the most raring to go, the most ready for Wales out of any political party.
You're being quiet, some British do. Do you have a view? Do the other party leaders care about Wales for not turning up to this debate?
Well...
Moving on then.
Hold on. I think that we have to, like what Wynne said, we have to respect well, sometimes you can't attend. We've had a very long, a very, very long campaign. People have been very busy going out of campaign. Some people may just, some have just not been able to come here today and be able to join us. And I don't think questioning a leader's integrity based on their ability to debate is a good idea. I think we should judge
No, you're right. I mean,
leaders and their parties based on what they achieve and what they are promising to the Welsh people.
you're all probably aware at this point of the ridiculously long Welsh name that I'm not even going to try and pronounce, that Welsh place name. Will you commit at this debate to passing a bill to shorten the name?
Well, I don't think that it should be shortened personally. I think that it should be allowed to remain as it is, because obviously it's a draw for tourists in the local area on, of course, Angle, which is my residence. It's where we want to build Ysbyty Nicki Minaj, building the Nicki Minaj hospital there. But I think the most important thing here would be that we need to make sure that the train station at Llanfire is continuing to receive passengers, and we need to keep the service up there, because in the event that there is a sort of local crisis, it's a very small train station, so I think we need to do upgrades there to make sure that we can make sure that it keeps servicing passengers. And maybe, I think what we should do, we should dedicate the train station to the Queen of Rap, Nicki Minaj. We should dedicate Llanfire train station to the Queen of Rap. That is my opinion. Thank you.
Okay, Wyn, what's your view, given you're perhaps the only Welsh speaker at this debate?
Well, while I will admit that it is a difficult name for me to say, as it is for, I'd say, anyone who isn't a resident of the place, I'd say I concur with Merrily. It is a valuable tourist draw. I mean, it is known effectively around the world as the little village with the long name. It's a draw for tourists, and the name bolsters the name is an integral part of the village's economy, and so I think shortening it would be a bad idea. However, what I would be in favour of is, if the residents wished, I'd say, why not make it longer? We can make it the longest name in the world.
Why don't we call it Llanfire Christmas Go 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 Queen Robul Ansilio Go 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 Nicki Minaj? Add her name at the end to celebrate the Queen of Rap.
Well, I'm not sure if Nicki Minaj herself would approve of that, but if...
What are you talking about? Of course she would. She is Welsh. Everyone knows that.
Nicki Minaj is a
To be
proud
fair,
resident.
I would want my name at the end of a Welsh place.
That's fair. We should put a name at the start, maybe.
Some British dude, is your party's position to make all Welsh language place names English? What's your view on this?
What?
What?
What is your party's view on long Welsh place names? Do you want to make them English? Do you want to make them longer? Do you want to make them shorter?
No, we have to preserve. We are firm believers in preserving the language and culture of Wales.
Yeah.
That's nice to know. Okay, is there any questions that you'd like to ask each other?
Well, I would like to. No, I don't have any questions.
I have a question for somebody to do, if that's alright.
Some British dude, Wyn has a question for you.
And then I have a question for Mary. Okay, so...
I have a question as well for Wyn.
Okay, well, let's let Wyn go first.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, somebody to do. You said that your party is a staunchly, firmly unionist party. However, in your party's manifesto in the past and in campaign promises, your party has advocated for both maximum devolution and also a border poll. So, what is your party's actual position on this?
Well, I said this earlier. Our position is that we are firmly unionist party. We believe that Wales is better in the United Kingdom, but we also firmly believe in the power of the devolved government and in the power of local government. We firmly believe that the Devo Max option will be a good one for Wales. and that if the people of Wales
Okay.
would indeed want independence by selecting a nationalist majority in the Senedd and a nationalist majority government, we would respect their decision and we would hold a poll.
Thank you for your clarification.
How would you campaign in such a poll?
I'm sorry?
How would you campaign in such a poll?
I would leave that up to my party leader. That is not my place to decide.
I would like to.
So the question, your position becomes more and more ambiguous as we go on. Merrily, your question.
Yes, no. Before I say that, I would like to give our view, the Cardigan Community Healthcare Advocates Party.
Oh yes, that would be very welcome actually, because I don't think your party.
We have a belief, not in independence or in unionism. We believe not in Devo Max, but in Devo Menage. We should devolve all of those solely to Nicki Minaj and give her the power to decide, as the benevolent queen, what should become of our nation.
That is a very based and red-pilled policy.
That would be. It would be de facto independence, and the fate of our great nation would be in the power of the Queen of France. Anyway, I had a question.
Yes, you had a question. What is your question?
Yes.
As you know, we have a transformative health policy on the
Yes.
island of Anglesey. We'll rename Penrose Stanley. I didn't pronounce that right, did I? Regardless. We'll rename Penrose Stanley Hospital to Nicki Minaj Hospital, or Isbatine Nicki Minaj, and this will come with a funding injection to ensure that the hospital lives up to the good name of Nicki Minaj and delivers for the people of Anglesey, just like the generous Queen Nicki delivers for her fans.
A funding injection rather than a heroin injection.
Cymru supports such a plan.
Well, Plaid Cymru, we are always in favour on expanding. We are always in favour in Plaid Cymru of expanding the National Health Service. It is a uniquely Welsh invention made by the great Senedd Bevan himself. And so, I would say I am absolutely in favour of this proposal by the CDHA to inject more funding into hospitals so the patients can be treated better, quicker, more efficiently.
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else have any other questions for any of the party leaders?
I would like to ask some British Dude 26, if you were in favour of a Devo Max plan, would you be willing to investigate the Devo Menage plan?
I would indeed, yes.
Fantastic. Okay, I did have another question, but I forgot what it was. Oh yeah.
How about we ask? Okay, I've got another question.
No, I've got it. I've got my. Okay, fine. You go.
Okay, no, you go, HK.
All right. So, would any of the party leaders like to rule out backing any particular party for the First Minister spot?
Well, I think that the Cardigan Community Healthcare Advocates Party should under no condition work with the Welsh Liberal Democrats, who are, of course, against the will of Allah, and of course they've previously been condemned by, I believe, the Ayatollah, His Holiness, and I just think that it would be a disgrace, frankly, if our party leader did decide to go down that route, and frankly, I think that it violates the Sharia code, so I would not in any way be in favour of working with the infidels and the Welsh Liberal Democrats.
Fantastic. Wynne, which parties do you rule out working with in the next Parliament?
Well, this is a question that I've been trying to answer myself. Naturally, I need to consult because you can't be an autocratic party leader. So I'm going to consult with the Cyngor to see which parties that we need to absolutely rule out working with. However, I can suspect that there are some parties that will automatically rule out a coalition with me, such as the Welsh Conservatives. Although, if I'm to be frank, in politics in Wales, we're all quite close together. A lot of bills passed the Senedd with near unanimous consent. I mean, to be honest, wouldn't be really I wouldn't be opposed to coalition with any of the parties, but I would say I think the Tories are the least likely coalition partners for us.
And some British dude.
I wouldn't I would say what Wynne said. I wouldn't rule out working with any party.
Not even the infidels and the Welsh Liberal Democrats.
Well, well, I'd say working with the Welsh Conservatives is probably the least likely option for us at this time. But we'll see.
I think
we'll see
that
what
I know
happens.
how to.
I would have to consult with my
case.
party
I've
constituent on
employed, I've employed the services of wheeldecide.com. So just stand up for a moment.
Oh,
Okay, while we wait for Merrily.
On the Liberal Democrats, so I'm proud to announce that the Welsh Democrats will not, under any circumstances, be working with the Liberal Democrats.
So you took so long to answer, someone else had to decide your policy for you.
No, I'm going to verify it. It landed on the Lib Dems.
Oh, okay.
It's a smear against my party, frankly, that you're insinuating that I'm a liar.
I'm not insinuating that you're a liar.
It's a smear against me.
No, so if anything, it's a smear against some British dude, but, you know, I'm sorry about
It's a
that.
smear against... I don't know. But what else?
Okay, does anyone in the audience, I know you're watching, all four of you watching.
Audience, yeah.
We have an audience of now, okay, it's gone down to 3 now. We have an audience of 3 people. How, do any of you have any questions for our expert and fantastic panel?
Why, thank you. Please feel free to fire a question. I'm happy to answer.
I am reading the chat.
Just about anything. Come on.
Never voting again. Stop the steal. I have no idea what flag I'm going to do.
Stop the steel, but steel is a core part of our economy.
Would any of the party leaders present be in favour of redesigning the United Kingdom flag to incorporate the dragon?
Yes.
Well, I think
Absolutely.
that I think that we should incorporate. No, put the dragon in there. It looks sick as hell. Put the dragon in there.
Put the dragon in there.
Put the.
I'd say
Yeah.
either put the dragon in or put in
Wait.
some relation to St. David's Cross, which is the alternative flag of Wales.
No, the dragon.
Some British dude, flag or no flag? No, sorry, dragon or no dragon?
yes, I'll put the dragon on there. The dragon looks cool.
We have
So
a
I'll put
question.
it on there.
Okay,
We have a question in from the.
we have a question. If you're elected First Minister, what would be your 27th policy? Some British dude, what would be your 27th policy if you become First Minister of Wales, or if the leader of your party becomes First Minister of Wales?
I would have to confer with the leader of my party on that.
Okay, Merrily Putrid, your 27th policy.
I'm not consulting my leader on this. She's very cringe. She has no idea what she's doing. My 27th policy as First Minister, after I overthrow the infidel AMN, it would be we're introducing a universal basic income for Welsh citizens, so that everyone has the capacity, no matter at their financial stage, to buy and stream Nicki Minaj's latest mixtape.
So, sorry, can I just clarify something here? Is this universal basic income for the sole purpose of buying Nicki Minaj music? Like, are Welsh citizens who? So if a Welsh citizen is in receipt, if they're in receipt of universal basic income, they're not allowed to use it for anything else.
They must only use it for purchasing the albums and singles of Nicki Minaj.
Fantastic! I can get behind that policy. Win, what would be your 27th policy?
Right, so my 27th policy. It's difficult to know which policies I will put in which order. However, if I was to take a random pot shot at my 27th policy, I would say it would be probably reintroducing Wales into Erasmus.
That is a good policy. I know I meant to be an unbiased moderator here, but that is a good policy.
I imagine that would actually take some time to negotiate with the European Union, so we can probably come up with about 27th. Other than that, yeah, I think that.
So I take from that that you want Wales to to carve out a more independent foreign policy from that of the rest of the United Kingdom?
Yes, that would be ideal. In one of my core policies is to strengthen our links with not only Welsh diaspora across the globe, but also other countries with similar situations to Wales, but also like regions, so not just countries, but also specific regions with similar situations to Wales. Things like Flanders, North Rhine-Westphalia, Wladva,
Catalonia?
Australia, New Zealand. Yeah, Wallonia, we'll have them too, but Flanders.
No, I said Catalonia.
Oh, Catalonia. Oh, yes, absolutely.
Mm.
Catalonia is a surprisingly large part of Welsh culture these days.
I would like to say something about Flanders. I believe that we should put much more financial support towards Flanders than we should Wallonia, for the sole reason that when Beam Me Up Scotty was reissued earlier this month, it charted higher in Flanders than it did in Wallonia, where they only put it at 134, compared to Flanders' glorious, in comparison, 73. So that's my opinion.
Flanders was always my favourite Simpsons character.
To Flanders to ensure that they can keep buying and streaming the new releases from Nicki Minaj.
Okay.
I mean, Flanders, Catalonia, Wladva, and even Australia to a degree, they all play pretty large roles in Welsh culture through the media that we consume. For example, there's some famous poems. We have the War Graves in Flanders. We have the very famous song Catalonia by a Welsh band.
Question for Wyn from the audience. Why do you support a Flemish fascist movement?
I support a Flemish fascist movement because clearly, if they have the intelligence to chart Beam Me Up Scotty higher than Wallonia did, then clearly they have the intelligence to run a country with an iron fist.
I wouldn't say I support the fascist movement. I'd say I more support the people of Flanders. Naturally, I'd be more inclined to support them if they had a different government, but that doesn't. But the government doesn't mean that I should. The government in power at the moment can change, and I think that once that government changes for the better, we'd be more ready to open with Flanders. But also, in the sense that we're not supporting Flanders for the government. We're supporting Flanders for the unique cultural ties that it has with Wales. I mean, we have war graves there. There's a statue of a Welsh dragon right in Flanders Fields. And I believe that it's that sort of bond, the tie that binds our two nations, that no matter who's in government, although I would prefer a different government, to be frank, but it's those sorts of ties that have historically bound us together.
Okay, I think we're coming to the end of this now, so I've got one more question.
You don't support the illegitimate state of Belgium.
You don't. Yeah, the illegitimate state of Belgium should be nuked.
And Flanders should gain independence, while Wallonia should be conquered by France for their failure to put Nicki Minaj at the very top.
Here, okay.
Personally, if it were up to me, and this is completely off the cuff remark, I would just balkanise all of Europe.
Sexy. That would be sexy. That.
Because that's so we'd have more Eurovision.
Precisely.
Yes, absolutely. Eurovision would take 15 days.
We don't need more Eurovision.
Yes, we do.
Okay,
Okay, that's a good question.
Should Hungarian Empire.
Would the party leaders present support Wales, a Wales-only entry to Eurovision?
Yes.
Yes.
Some British do.
Because, well, we've done it before.
It would probably do better than the UK entry, so yes.
Okay, we are coming to the end now, so I've got one more question, and this question is for Merrily Putrid.
Oh.
This is the final question. Merrily, who is your favourite Narcos character?
My favourite
Cut out.
I'm going to send you this character. I think the image. Okay, does that work? I'm sure it works. Okay.
I think you should say it. Just,
Right now.
I think you should say it just so our
Oh,
viewers
not
can
going to
hear.
say it.
Okay. Dodging the question, I see.
It's much better if the viewers visualize it. So then you an image and you can put that up on the you can see. My favourite.
Okay,
So
I.
you put it up on the stream.
That's what I'm doing.
It's this thing that you put it up on the stream.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Dothraki.
Okay. Going to the rest of the panel. Do any of you watch Narcos, and who's your favourite character?
Thank you.
Sadly, I have not had the pleasure of watching Narcos in my time because I have been swamped with personal circumstances such as being hospitalised and nearly killing myself with a hedge trimmer because I cut the cord and nearly electrocuted myself to death.
Dear me, I hope you're okay.
Yeah, I was in hospital for a bit, but yeah.
Okay, well,
That's why my campaigning was a bit whack.
fair enough.
I'm very.
Some
I'm
British
very
dude, your
interested to hear of your.
some British dude, your favourite Narcos character. Do you watch Narcos?
I do not watch Narcos.
Okay, fair enough. I think that's it. Thank you everyone for coming. This has been something, I suppose.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever doing this again.
I would like
was
to
fun.
express my
Right.
deepest condolences on